Of all the trails that we were going to do during this Ouray trip, the Black Bear Pass was certainly the one we had the most anxiety about. We went with a bunch of experienced folks, but even they said that just before the steps area, the area had been dug out, so it was a little more challenging than usual. We saw on the way there was like F-150 pickup and a few other larger vehicles coming down. I wish we'd stuck around to see them come because it was pretty interesting doing it in a pretty well-equipped Jeep. Before we went, my wife and I watched pretty much every video on YouTube on Black Bear Pass, and we actually heard one guy say that there's really three parts to Black Bear Pass, and there's really the steps. There's the section right after the waterfall, which is narrow and has a 1,000-foot drop on one side, and then there's that first switchback. We found that the steps were actually, which are here in the video, really weren't that bad because you're spending so much time concentrating on not climbing the wall but not getting too far away from the wall, so you're not really looking at the left-hand side there with that cliff. I gotta say, however, once you turn that corner after the steps and you see I wouldn't call that first one a switchback, I'd call it just a turn. You do get a great sense of relief that you're kind of working towards an edge that you can maneuver. The one tip I would say is that when you're doing this, do it with a passenger. They can sit there and look at that wall and kind of tell you left, right, just as good as a spotter can looking at it from the front side. Another part that we heard about was called the slide, and it's that set of rock that I'm going over right now. And actually it tends to cause the vehicle to slide towards the cliff, and although it was pretty anticlimactic from our standpoint, we did see a couple of the vehicles jump over to the right a bit. For someone with pretty good vertigo, this was probably the most intimidating part of the trip for me. This is 1,000 feet down, or so I read, on the right, and you're just trying to stay to the left during this part of the trail. And it's pretty long. I'm going to time lapse it forward, but pretty long stretch here. A lot of steering wheel gripping during that time. And that takes us to the switchback, and actually it wasn't that bad. With a good spotter, it's not really a big deal. I did catch my rear passenger tire on a rock, and it gave me a little bit of a lift, and that was fun. But anyhow, that was not that bad. Although the three obstacles are really a lot of fun on Black Bear Pass, there's a lot more to this trip than just the obstacles. This is the $1 Million Highway. It was beautiful and scary all the same. There was actually the drive up the mountain, and then there was even some sheep and I think a donkey up there that just kind of broke things up as you were going through. There was also just obstacles, like random obstacles on the way that we had a lot of fun on. So overall, it was a great trip. Glad you could experience it with us. I'll probably post a 360 video just of these steps and of that ledge 1,000 feet up, just so you get a perspective of what it was all about. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe, and we'll be posting a few other trails that we did during this same week. It's great fun, base camping out of Ouray, and hope to see you out there.